Hi, let's look at the costing run today. When we talk about material price of SAP, you have to know these three price control type. V for moving average price. Price is determined at the goods receipt for purchase order. So this moving average inventory unit costs fluctuates during the period. The second option is standard price without cost structure. You can mark and release using CK40. Yeah, you have a future price in the date, future price from. You set the material price here, price control S, standard of moving average, and you run the CK40. You do the marking and releasing. That's the second option. Now the third option is standard pricing with cost structure. We have these transactions like CK11N, or we can mark and release using CK24, or we do this collectively using CK40N. CK11N is here and 24 is here, but these you have to run material by material. So if there's a bomb structure, it is a multiple level. You cannot do this one by one from the lower level. So you can do this collectively using CK40N. So this is the costing run I did last month. Right, this is the mark and release and future price, CK40N costing run. So CK40N costing run. Today is June 23rd, and let's create the costing run. But before that, these are very helpful features. So what are we gonna do? We can use this one target list. So this is the costing run last month. and we name it here for the cost selection list. So this is the item list I did last time. I just want to show, because I don't want to select this many, just to show how this works. Save. So this is what we just saved. Yeah, then we can use this selection list. So these are the table names. But you have to use this screen to delete or add. Now the problem is, okay, let's leave it. So these are the materials I want to do the costing run. It's only 15. Now let's leave out these 3. 15 in total. So how do I do this? New row. Something's wrong. Shame. So I got to come in again. This way. The benefit of this one is we can specify the plant level. Okay, then forget about this. Oh, be careful, this one deletes this list itself. So we deleted 3 out of 15, so it will be 12 materials. Okay, now we look into this CK40N. Today is 23rd, June 23rd, and if you want to release it on this day, well, this is only a name, but 23rd does not exist, yes, and the name can be anything. Right, costing variant. This best practice is setting up this costing variant, and existing cost estimate is also using this one. So I cannot go back to standard, but I recommend you to stick with the standard one. If you create your own costing variant using putting a name like a Z or Y, you will face difficulty at the mark release point. The reason is, we'll come to that later on. So I recommend you to use this PPC1, or on this best practice environment. We got to use this one. Be careful. Do not create your own costing variant. This is something you have to share. Costing version, not sure, right. So this date, costing date from, has to be the releasing date. You see, it's the beginning of next month. Usually this cost estimate starts from 6 months ahead or 3 months ahead, when before this fiscal year starts. You start the budgeting for the next year, right? So usually it is a future date, but here I want to release it today, so I am setting date here, and if you miss this date, you cannot release it. Anything else? Here we have to save. Transfer control is determined. Okay, so we're going to this selection costing, and there used to be another step called bomb explosion. And the SAP guys, they do this unnecessary simplification, so it's gone. This is very bad actually. So we first set up parameters, and here we can select the selection list. If you remember, what you do is just save it here. You see, if you specify the material here one by one, and the plant and the material combination, this is much much more handy. And since S4HANA, they created this thick explode multi-level structure, so that this is the reason you don't need the bomb explosion step, which is very bad. Just save it and go out. Then the status, you have this clock button. So what you do is just click it, and we can run it in background. Just finished. Oh, let's check the table. This one, we have this entry here. Right, you see, we only specified 12 materials, but we only see 108. And super user, if you are a super user, this is very lousy, because super user knows what was the target material, and they can guess what was the subcomponents, and you lose track if you see this explosion here. Bomb explosion means there's a material that has this structure. To build this product, you have some subcomponents, and if we specify the top level, SAP automatically search the subcomponents. That's called bomb explosion, or multi-level costing. Right now we only specified 12 materials, and we have 108. So you don't know what is happening. You see the target material here. This is very bad. So this simplification is too much. They do unnecessary simplification because SAP guys, it's not always people who have the knowledge in costing, and they set the rule and they follow the rule without ever thinking about these usage. Well, what we do is just easy. We just follow this set parameters and click the clock. We run it background, save it, and we run it using clock button in background. It is running background. So we don't need to go there actually, and the costing is finished. Here you have to check the details, but I recommend to run this analysis because you can see it here, and there's other benefit too. And save the parameters and run it. So this is the cost estimate result. So I recommend you to run this analysis here, because in the future this cost estimate data taking up this disk space, and you archive it, but this extract remains, and if you go back years later you have an option to look at it. So I recommend you to do this, to run this analysis here. So this is the cost estimate, the multi-level cost estimate. This is the itemization, what we see. This is the cost component split. Fixed, variable, and overall. So what was the product? And the date from today. This is the cost estimate number. So for example, component table is KEPH. Oops. We specified the 23rd of June, but it starts from 1st of June. So this is the cost component table. You see the valuation is 0y1. Valuation is the key. So if you create the cost invariant on your own and using different valuation, the database won't allow it as a check. That's the reason you cannot mark and release. That's the reason I recommend you to use existing costing variant. This is a familiar number 1490. 59 is variable third party. So 2086, and usually this table only contains the full cost and the fixed cost. Third party was exception. What's the table name? CK40N or something. I don't remember the table name. Shame. So this is coming from cost component split. And the third party or direct material only has usually direct material is only variable cost, no need to add the fixed and variable cost. So he is a good proof this guy doesn't know anything about costing. This decides the variable or fixed third party. This has the variable cost both. Table name is CK40N. CK40N is the table name. And this has the field position. This one is a full cost and this one is fixed cost. And material, direct material should not use up two fields. So this KEPH table itself doesn't have fixed name. It is dynamically decided. You see, this only says cost field. This is dynamically decided by this table, the OKTZ table. And one more costing detail is the itemization table. This one is by cost element. This is the material subcomponent, and controlling a currency. Object currency. So we see it here. This is the extract, and if you're happy with the costing result, then we do the marking. But first, this one is allowed, but first thing we have to do is this one. We need to unlock this one. Click on the company code name. We see a costing variant. This used to be valuation variant. This is the reason only one company code can hold one costing variant, one valuation variant for this month, for the month. And if the marking is allowed, set the parameter. Let's do the test run first. Finished marking. What was the job log? Successfully, job finished. So should be fine. Let's run update run. Message have been collected. See log. Updated successfully. Okay. By the way, if we look at the material master, yeah, the marked cost appears in future field, although it is the same result. This one is last month. So let's do the relacing. Test run first. Background. So this one. Updated successfully. and the spool is now the status is FR. So let's run in update mode. It's already finished, this one. Now the status is FR. Still says KA. Well, anyways, job log updated successfully. This company code just run 1710, but it's taken place. Yes, 1710. Any accounting document created? Nothing, because there was no change. So should we look at the material? So future price disappeared, current it's moved. You can see it here too. So if you miss this date, you cannot release it. That's the key. Not much, but so we look at the table. See, the valuation variant is this one. Valid from is today. The status FR, costing variant, so costing run ID. Once again, you should not create the costing variant on your own. You should use the existing one, because the valuation variant can only exist one variation variant can only exist for one company code for this month. That's the reason you should not create costing variant on your own. So that's it. Thanks for watching.